What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing awesome and taking care of yourselves. Today, we've got the Red Rocker. We're going to do some Red Rockin' jams. He's one of my all-time favorite rockers. It's just so great. And if you can hear the music in the background, it's actually a song called Love Walks In, where he talks about his alien encounter where he had information downloaded into his mind. And it's just a fantastic story. And he's not the only one that had these types of encounters. He actually had, many other people have had these encounters, but he actually had ghost stories as well. He had a ghost story of his father visiting him right before he got the death call from his neighbor. And then he also had his manager, who died the same night, come to visit him and give him a cryptic message from beyond. So we're going to get into it in just a second. Now, what's interesting is in the middle of this song, when Love Walks In, playing in the background, he talks about contact is all that it takes. And we're going to bring it back here. And he talks about how an alien walks in and engages him for the first time. And of course, right, you can't just have a rock hit the radio station and just be fine with it, right? Like, they're not going to just receive that and be like, oh yeah, let's just put that on the radio. No, you got to blend in like some romance. You got to throw a nice woman in there in a silver gown and that kind of thing. But, he didn't just write one song about this. He actually wrote multiple songs about his alien encounters, ranging from Silver Lights, probably about UFOs flying in the sky, right? And this is not even in the Van Halen days. This is back when he was in Montrose. A lot of people don't know that Sammy had a solo career. A lot of people know him from that, and then he kind of went into Van Halen from that. But he also was in a band, Montrose. So he wrote multiple songs. I'll give you the titles here in just a sec. But Silver Lights is one of them. Hot Rocks, I think, is another one. And he had many others. So if you think this is like a one-off, he actually wrote a book. Really, really good. It's called Red, just Red, by Sammy Hagar. Okay, he also wrote it with Joel Selden. Now, this book, it's got all kinds of great stuff. It's got great photos of his life and that kind of stuff too. But what's interesting about this book is he actually writes about the alien encounter in here. So if you want a little bit more info, a little bit more in-depth info, feel free. I'm gonna pull up some of the extra info here. So one of the cool things about Sammy is he's one of these really honest guys. He doesn't just make stuff up. He doesn't seem like he's lying about things. He's pretty straightforward, and that's what I really like about him. I think he's just a legit dude, and he had a rough childhood too. His dad, he finds out later that his dad was like homeless and stuff. We didn't have contact with him, and it's kind of a sad story, but it has a good ending. So some of the other songs, just was able to pull it up. Some of the other songs with alien themes were Space Station Number 5 on the first Montrose album. On the second album, he wrote Space Age Sacrifice, where, you can imagine what that's about. Then on his first solo album, he had Silver Lights and Hot Rocks, which are about UFOs coming and taking people away. His next album had two other songs, Little Star and Someone Out, which is about how we are not the only ones in the universe. He states that I feel so scared and lonely to think that we're the only ones when I know there's someone out there and someday they'll come. And people say that there's no life in the universe, but you know how big the universe is? It's freaking huge. If we're really the only ones out there, it's scarier to me than thinking that there are aliens. So my whole career has been writing about these kinds of things, and they've never been hits, except this one with Van Halen. They've only been underground songs. If anything, in the book that's been played down, it's my mystical side. So he talks about the fact that like his mystical side really isn't like a main theme. It's really like kind of like a biography, but he does talk about some of those experiences. Now, if you want to go back to his UFO alien experience, it was actually from a distance. He was laying in bed, and he was looking out over the mountains when he had this contact. His room lit up super white, and he stated that they started to download information into his mind, and it wasn't like a direct message. It was all these binary codes, like ones and zeros and twos, threes, and fours. Now, binary I know is zeros and ones, but he states that this code gave him a lot of information, and when he woke up in the middle of it, he actually woke up in the middle of this download. He stated that he heard in his mind, these aliens stated, he's waking up. We have to stop. And so they stopped. They wrapped up their download, and then they left. And then his room turned from like this blinding white to black again because he was going to sleep. He stated that he got so much info from this. Like, you think about all these celebrities that get all this information, from the ether. Prince talked about this a lot before he died, where these songs would come to him in his sleep. There's this collective unconsciousness that we can tap into, and sometimes it's an alien unconsciousness too, or alien consciousness, because they're transmitting their signals, their telepathic signals, throughout the airwaves, just like radio waves. As crazy as you might think this might sound, radio waves are nothing different than our thought process waves. Everything is waves, whether it's telepathic, radio, television, cell phone, everything is all waves. Microwave, it's all waves in the air, just bombarding. So any day you're having like a weird day and you're feeling like you're a bit off, it might just be that you're in a high wave area, or a lot of stressful things are going on in that area, and people are being bombarded with a lot of stress. Even though you can't see it or hear about it, it's still there. So anyway, the second story is really, really interesting. So what happened was, this is with his father, okay? So his father was a big-time alcoholic. He was an Irish guy, and, he was, the hit of the party, but he lost connection with his dad because of his alcoholism. And he stated that his dad came to visit him, and his dad was older when he died, right? Sammy had already had this career. He had a kid. So this was I think it was after 94 is when Sammy had a kid. And he stated that his dad came to him at 4 o'clock in the morning, banging on the door. He's got a little kid. Sammy's got his little kid. Opens the door. It's his dad. But his dad is in his early 20s now. Okay, think about that for a second. His dad is in his early 20s. So if his dad is in his early 20s, how can that be? It's not possible, right? So he's like, Dad, what the hell are you doing here? He's like, his dad apparently is drunk. Okay, and he's like, it's a great day to be Irish. It's a wonderful day. I just wanted to say I love you. And Sammy says, hey, you can't come to my house not banging on the door. I got my little kid here, da-da-da-da-da. You can't be messing around like this. This is crazy. And he shuts the door. Next thing he knows, he's getting another knock. And he's like, who the hell is this now? It can't be my dad. What the hell is it? So he opens the door, he's all pissed. And it's his neighbor. His neighbor has a phone. And she says, your sister's on the phone. She says they found your dad and he's dead. How can you react to that, man? That is freaking mind-blowing. How can you react to that? You just can't. I mean, it's just something that is so supernatural, so unreal, that your brain has to wrap around it and be like, holy shit, this just happened. This is real. And so Sammy just kind of like had to sit down for a moment, just be like, wow, I just saw my dad. And his kid saw his dad too. His wife wasn't there. And, she wasn't in the room when he opened the door. So it's really fascinating when you think about this. It's just like, dude, like, it's nice that you get to say that final goodbye, or his dad got to say that final goodbye. It's interesting that he was drunk in the afterlife, right? Because sometimes when you pass away in the afterlife, you go as you were, meaning you might leave this life in the same mentality as you were when you passed away. So if he was drunk, he might have showed up drunk. He might not even have known he was dead, you know? Or he may have known he was dead and he just wanted to stop by and say goodbye real quick. It's one of those questions we might never get the answer to. The second story is that his manager also visited him after he passed away. Sammy was lying in bed. He was reeling with like his decisions to leave the band, and he was really at odds with the band at the time. And his manager Ed Lefter was like, trying to tell him, everything's going to be okay. Hey, don't worry about it. Things are going to work out. Things are going to work out. So what happened was, Sammy's laying in bed. He's kind of sleeping, and he gets woken up by Ed, and he crouches down next to him, and all Sammy can smell is cigarette smoke. He's like, "What the hell is this?" And Ed sits down. He's like, "Sammy, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry about what decision you make. Just know that everything will be fine." And then, poof, he's gone. And again, he talks about Ed looking younger and more healthy and more vibrant. A lot of these guys with the rock and roll lifestyle, they have a very tough and rough life. So for him to show up as a younger version of himself, looking good, looking healthy, even though he smelled like cigarette smoke, but that doesn't matter because we smell like what we did in our lifetime too. Anytime you get a certain smell coming in that you smelled off of a relative, chances are that's them, saying hi. Or if they pass away, you might only smell that smell. You might not get a visual representation of the person, but you might smell that smell. Maybe it's your dad's aftershave, your mom's perfume, or some daisies or something that your family members enjoyed. You might only smell that smell, and that's all you get. And then you might get a call. It's like these predictions. But what's interesting with Sammy is like it's almost like he was like picked out for this, for all of these contacts. When it comes to like supernatural contacts, not everybody has them. I was just watching an interview with Howard Stern that he did, and Howard's like, I've never had any of these encounters. I'm famous. I don't get any of these supernatural encounters, alien, ghosts, or anything like that. I think Sammy's just one of these dudes. He's just so tapped in to music, which is very ethereal. You have to be tapped into like this vibration of receivership. You have to receive this music. You have to embrace vibrations around you, and those vibrations are strong and can lead you down an emotional path into this song. And when you're tapped in like that, you can feel things around you. You can feel when things are right, wrong, and you can feel different emotions and vibrations. And when you can do that, I think you can tap into the spiritual. I think you can tap into, a consciousness exchange if needed be with any kind of entity, whether it's alien or, human, and human that's passed on or human currently, and I think that's why Sammy had such a tough time with, Van Halen and maybe Montrose as well, where, he feels these things and he knows that things are right or wrong and just, kind of rolls with them. There's another cool picture I wanted to pop up real quick. So, when it comes to Sammy, it's really cool because I think that a lot of people would be afraid to come forth and, say, "Oh, this is my story. I want you guys to know about it." Not a lot of people are doing that. There's very few celebrities that actually come out and talk about it. So I'm actually going to start doing some celebrity alien encounter stories. Try to get as much detail as I can and bring them to you. I love this picture. Sammy's playing guitar and getting nailed, getting taken away by the spacecraft. But he's told us many times. He's like, dude, if the aliens come back and they want to take me away, hey, so be it. I'll do it. No big deal. And that's what I love about Sammy. He's very open and honest, and puts it forward in his music. If we want to take a look at those lyrics real quick, we can. We just talk about "Love Walks In" by Van Halen, right? And I just want to cover a couple lyrics with you, just so you can know what kind of lyrics he actually puts in here. So he says, "Contact is all that it takes." I'm going to wrap up the podcast. It says, "Contact is all it takes to change your life or lose your place in time." It's interesting, right? He brings in time travel into it. Contact, asleep or awake. A lot of times, he had contact while he was sleeping and awake. He says, questions deep within your eyes. And he talks about when nothing feels the same, when you sense a change, all your dreams are strange, love comes walking in. But then he says, some kind of alien waits for the opening and simply pulls a string. Love comes walking in. It's kind of interesting, right? He says, another world, some other time. It's so cool because huge music star, huge rock star. They can sing about chicks all day long. They can have 50% or more of females in their audience. They got big because of their female directed music. They talked about love, and they talked about "Don't Leave Me Hang." Finish what you started. Don't leave me hanging. Right. So they definitely had their share of females. They didn't need that. Sammy wasn't afraid to write about aliens in his music. He talks about, "Oh, sleep and dream is all I crave, to travel across the Milky Way. To my master I become a slave, till we meet again some other day. Where silence speaks as loud as war, earth returns to what it was before." Dude, to have the cojones to put this into a Van Halen song, you got to remember, Van Halen, the Van Halen brothers were running Van Halen. Like, it's their name, it's their band. If they want to kick somebody out, they can. And a lot of times, they wanted to stick to a very specific sound type and lyrical type. Eventually, they stated they got upset with Sammy because he started singing about like drugs, and he started singing about, his drinking and stuff like that. It's party music, man. That's what a lot of rockers talk about, especially back then. So I don't know why they got upset about it, but he also talked about ethereal type of alien stuff, thought process stuff, going to Cabo, vacation stuff, so I think he had a very expansive repertoire of lyrical genius. I think that he was able to tap into these different vibrations. I think he was able to bring them all in and write about them, and that's what you do as a good artist and as an excellent lyricist. And then you present that to your audience, and they connect with that. So I would say, if we want to go back even to, some of his other stuff, like Silver, let's pull it up here. Silver, and that's the thing. It's like, it's so cool because he's got all these hits: Silver Lights, Space Station #5. I bring up that one just because a lot of people know it. But if we want to go back into some lesser known ones, Silver Lights in My Eyes, It happens so quickly, no time to wonder. It takes off like thunder, spectacle in the night. And again, when you're younger, you're not like the best lyricist in the world, but he still took that time to write about it, and a lot of people wouldn't even have the cojones to do that. Um, so I give him a hell of a lot of credit. Space Station number 5, it's not going to be as much of Alien taking you away most likely, but we'll pull it up anyway. I feel like I'm Jamie on Joe Rogan's podcast. Hey Jamie, can you pull that up for us? Yeah, cool, thanks. Space Station number 5 lyrics: start with the sun and move on out. The future's in the sky above. The heavens unfold and a new star is born. Space and time making love. Now that's cool. Oh, what a time we had living on the ground. I've moved to station number 5. See you next time around. These are like sci-fi type lyrics, and it's interesting because he doesn't talk about like the fact that he was like watching Doctor Who or like any of these sci-fi shows back in the day. He was just kind of like fascinated with space and interested in it, especially after these types of encounters. Who wouldn't be? I think you're gonna have, especially after you've had these encounters. You're probably gonna do some research into it, like we have, and see if you can find out what it's all about. And once you find out a little bit of info, you're gonna start sharing it with the world. Um, let's just look at little star eclipse. Shine on, my little star. I know what you are. Time is on your side, so shine on in the night. How much longer must I wait until I cast my shell away? He's talking about moving on, right? Ascension, getting out of his body. And I spread my golden wings and I fly away. We'll be flying, baby. Somewhere there's a hole in the sky where angels fly and slide down rainbows. Somewhere there's a place for us. Shine on, our little star. I can see you from here or Mars. Like stones all in a line, we'll solve the mystery of space and time. So climb on, infinity. It's got an open mind. That's all I gotta say. So, were these stories real? Does Sammy seem to have this supernatural capability to encounter all of these different vibrations that are in our universe? I think he might. I think some people are gifted with it. Maybe he's kind of like a medium. Some people are gifted with that. So I think it's fascinating. I think it's interesting. I love this picture. I might have to do a painting of that or something. But yeah, I think we're going to do some more podcasts about some celebrity encounters, because I think that they're interesting, and I think that they had a platform with which to bring this forward through their music, through internet now, and through their websites and interviews and so on and so forth. So we'll bring more of these as we move forward, and it'll be a series that we do. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys will have fun with it, and we'll sprinkle in any news that comes about as it comes in. So might get chopped up a little bit if there's new alien encounters or drops or whistleblowers. We'll bring those in between this series. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you go. Let's play us out, right? So I hope you guys had a great day, great night, great life. Take care of your spiritual health, your emotional health, your physical health, your emotional health, your psychological health. Follow through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams, whatever they may be. Take care of your friends and family, and take care of yourself, whatever it is, right? Go enjoy something. Yeah. Go enjoy some music on the way out. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. And as always, keep your eyes on the skies. Keep doing your research. Enjoy the day. And that's not all I have to say. From me to you. Love you. Lockdown Universe out. Go like, follow, share, subscribe. Out.